Welcome to Superhero Pow. I'm your host nerd, Tom Fremgen. I was thinking about old TV shows the other day and how our favorites always seem to be getting canceled too soon. Everybody always mentions Firefly and maybe even the original Flash TV show from the 90s. I know I was hoping they'd get some more money for a second season and somehow pull off Gorilla Grodd in those pre-CGI days. One show that doesn't seem to get mentioned very often is the original Battlestar Galactica. While it was quickly replaced by the equally fun Buck Rogers in the 25th century, how awesome would it be to get another season of that? And don't bring up Galactica 1980. The ship and the budget had long sailed at that point. Another fun little show that would have been cool for a second season was Automan, the video game sprite that came to life, and very Tron inspired, produced by some of the same people. And while sure it wasn't a great show, it was still fun and had cool effects. Look at that. But when I think about shows that I'm personally bummed that were taken off the air, I find nobody ever really mentions them. It's all just, oh, Firefly, oh, Farscape, oh, Babylon 5. 5 seasons and 110 episodes just wasn't enough. Really? Now for a better list, here are 5 forgotten shows that really got short-shafted. First off, The Powers of Matthew Star, running from 1982 to 1983 for just 22 episodes. It was about a teenage prince from an alien planet hiding out on Earth with his adult mentor and protector, as their home planet Quadris had been overrun with invaders. The show starred the easy on the eyes Peter Barton as Matthew, and the great Louis Gossett Jr. as his mentor, Walt Shepard. Typical right-on-the-nose sci-fi name there. The show was a blend of high school drama mixed with alien assassins and government spooks trying to capture and kill the alien fugitives. Thankfully, Matthew, as with all Quadris royal family, had telekinetic powers. Because it was the Powers of Matthew Star? You'll get it. Being 1980s special effects, though, the powers really weren't that great. But we were told he would become more powerful with a better budget. As he got older. The show just had a lot of untapped mythology to dig into, and sadly it never happened. Maybe one day somebody can bring this back. It'd probably do great on the CW. Next, I'd bring you Raven. No, not the Highlander girl. The probably much less known martial arts show, Raven, running from 1992 to 1993 for just 20 episodes. It was about a former assassin looking for his son and a new life. The multi-talented Jeffrey Meek, who was also a martial artist as well as an actor, played Jonathan Raven. As a child, Raven's parents were killed by the Black Dragon clan, and then the clan abducted Raven and raised him. Becoming an adult, he turned on the clan. But really, what did they expect? And tried to escape with his wife and child. But his wife was killed as she hid their son. Not knowing where his son was, Raven became an assassin for Uncle Sam. But after a few years of that nonsense, he quit. Now he's the typical TV do-gooder, working with his crusty buddy Herman Jablonski, played by the excellent Lee Majors, in Hawaii, looking for his son, dodging Uncle Sam and the Black Dragon clan goons. Putting it in more modern terms, it was Burn Notice meets Walker, Texas Ranger, but with more ninjas. Oddly enough, Raven was basically replaced by Chuck Norris's Walker, Texas Ranger. But for me, I'll take ninjas in Hawaii, not to mention Lee Majors, over Karate Texas Rangers. It's just me. The next one is kind of a big one. It was supposed to be a massive hit, but instead, the show that came after it, The X-Files, became the massive hit, and The Adventures of Brisco County Jr. were all but forgotten. Running from 1993 to 1994 for just 27 episodes. It was about a highly educated lawyer becoming a bounty hunter to track down the outlaws that killed his lawman father, and was blessed with a heavy dose of humor. Just one of the most perfect blends of action and comedy I've ever seen. But what else would you expect from the maestro Bruce Campbell? The show also featured Brisco's off and on again rival friend, Lord Bowler, played magnificently by Julius Carey. No, seriously, I would have totally watched a Lord Bowler spin-off show. The show played with sci-fi tropes as well as Western tropes, with a budget making it all look great. To this day, I'm still stunned that the show didn't do better. Not to mention, every show Fox tried to replace it with, Mantis, VR5, Strangeluck, they all flopped harder than Brisco County. Just a crying shame. Here's another show that was supposed to be big and somehow failed. Tales of the Gold Monkey, running from 1982 to 1983 for 22 episodes. As Battlestar Galactica was supposed to bring Star Wars to the TV, the Tales of the Gold Monkey was supposed to bring Raiders of the Lost Ark to the TV. But just like Battlestar, despite being a great show, it was canceled after one season because of budget concerns. The story was about a South Pacific air freight pilot, Jake Cutter, trying to keep his nose out of trouble in the days before World War II. You see, his bar-singing girlfriend was an American spy, and the local priest was a Nazi spy. Said bar was owned by the French magistrate, and the surrounding islands were owned by a somewhat evil Japanese princess. And I would be remiss not to mention Jake's lovable drunk mechanic, Corky, and Jack, the spunky one-eyed dog. Adventures would range from treasure hunting to wartime espionage and anything in between, really. It starred the great Roddy McDowall as the French magistrate, Caitlin O'Haney as the love interest, Sarah White, and Stephen Collins as the hero, Jake Cutter. Collins is more famous these days for illegal acts. But as for the show, it delivered in spades, and so of course they canceled it. Lastly, here's a real gem for you. From 1982, after a pilot in 1981, for only 5 episodes, The Phoenix. The story was about an ancient alien astronaut, Bennu, awoken in modern day from his hibernation in a Peruvian sarcophagus. Unfortunately for him, he was supposed to wake up like 1,000 years later in the future, with his female companion, Mira, for some unknown mission. But now he's a lost soul, looking for Mira's sarcophagus while on the run from Uncle Sam, because with his solar-powered medallion, Bennu is a very powerful esper. Bennu himself was played by Khan's right-hand man, Judson Scott. Now, while I don't necessarily believe in ancient aliens, I am a sucker for these stories, and The Phoenix was just loaded with untapped mythology. As we even got the briefest glance at Bennu's evil counterpart, Yago. What was it all about? Well, we'll never know because the show was killed way too soon. And there's another show which I feel could be successful with a reboot. Well, there you go. There's my list of shows that were really canceled too soon. I mean, have you even heard of these shows? Or do you actually love them like I do? Or maybe you think there are better shows out there. And don't say Firefly, and we know. Either way, thanks for spending time with me. And if you could be so kind to like, subscribe, and notify, I promise not to cancel you. Unless I catch you peeing on my lawn. I mean, that's just wrong, man.